Wisdom Beyond Wise presents How Hidden Emotions Make Us Sick. We like to think of ourselves as rational, conscious beings, that we have a good grip on what's going on inside our own minds and hearts. But the truth is, a huge amount of our inner workings happen underneath the surface, outside of our awareness. We have these vast, complex minds filling up with all sorts of thoughts and feelings that we don't properly process or give voice to. We might be angry, sad, guilty, or envious while totally lacking any real grasp that those are the emotions brewing underneath. It's almost like there's a thin, psychological curtain separating our conscious mind from those deeper layers of unacknowledged fears, frustrations, and doubts simmering below. We remain stubbornly unconscious and resistant to ideas that threaten our sense of calm, self-image, and delusions about who we are.
I can't possibly be angry at my grandfather because I'm a kind person.
It's no big deal I didn't get invited to that party. I don't care about trivial social stuff anyway.
There's no way I envy Amy's success. I don't care what others have.
The greatest portion of our psyche seems to favor forgetting over understanding. We're masters at sweeping unsettling thoughts and emotions under the rug where they don't have to be confronted. The persistent voice of conscience. And yet, somewhere inside us all is a voice that refuses to be ignored entirely. A conscience that tugs at our self-delusions in its quest for truth and authenticity. It's a small part of us, but an insistent and ingenious part that simply won't leave us at peace until its case has been heard. When our conscious minds won't listen up, this inner voice starts causing all sorts of problems to get our attention. Breakdowns, illnesses, obsessive habits, bizarre twitches, and compulsions. It's like the psychological equivalent of a crying baby, using whatever tactics are necessary to force us to finally reckon with what we've been avoiding. And when our mind has gone temporarily deaf to its pleas, this voice tends to shift its efforts towards speaking through our bodies instead. The mind-body disconnect. You see, the parts of ourselves that we disavow and bury in our unconscious have an interesting way of coming back to haunt us in physical form. It's as if the lack of mental awareness about an issue gets expressed somatically through weird ailments and afflictions. If we won't look squarely at the anger or anxiety we're feeling, it may take up residence as back pain, nausea, or migraines. Run from romantic frustration or grief, and it can start weakening the cardiovascular system. The tight ball of rage towards an unfair boss could be what's literally freezing up our vertebrae. Our unfelt, unexpressed feelings get confined to uncomfortable zones throughout the body: back pain, constipation, insomnia, heart palpitations, and on and on. These are often the sort of ailments that leave doctors scratching their heads, unable to identify any clear physical cause for treatment. Well-meaning medical professionals understandably see their role as fixing material problems caused by material malfunctions. But sometimes the root dysfunction is emotional or psychological, not physiological. It might be an ex-partner who is metaphorically causing your stomach issues, or unresolved anger towards a parent that's contracting our muscles into aching knots. Our bodies become repositories for the psychic tensions and turmoil that our minds have disavowed. Get in touch with your inner voices. To spare ourselves at least some of these mute physical agonies, there's a somewhat unconventional exercise we can try. With our eyes closed and minds stilled, perhaps lying in bed, we can pass slowly over the different areas and organs of our bodies, posing this question to each section. If you could speak, what might you want to tell me right now? We can ask, what might the heart need to say? The stomach? The shoulders and upper back? Our minds are probably better equipped to hear those inner voices than we assume. It may become surprisingly evident that the rigidity in our shoulders is desperately signaling a desire to end a relationship or job. The butterflies and nausea in our gut might be pleading for us to take on less responsibility. Our hearts could be aching to offer forgiveness or admit culpability. The tension in our ribcage might arise from relentless pretending that we're happy when we aren't. A great number of our chronic physical ailments and bodily discomforts make sense as mute forms of protest and revenge against all the parts of ourselves that we've disavowed for too long. Our bodies express the angst our minds prefer to ignore. We're likely to find immense relief in our physical beings once we start repatriating those long-censored thoughts and emotions back into our conscious minds where they can finally be reckoned with. Many somatic complaints should begin subsiding once we've reversed that deep process of forgetting that landed us in such an unhealthy mind-body disconnect to begin with. Getting reacquainted with all of you? The path towards greater overall well-being requires making friends with the aspects of ourselves we've been keeping at arm's length. It means staring down the difficult truths and allowing the fears, sadnesses, guilt, and frustrations to surface without judgment so they can finally be integrated and let go. It will take time and it's no easy task. We've spent lifetimes mastering the art of psychological defense, a survival skill that helped guard us against being overwhelmed by the harsher realities we weren't equipped to process, especially early in life. Our perception management system got very good at walling off any thoughts or feelings that seemed to threaten our self-concept. But those ousted psychic inhabitants don't simply disappear into nowhere. They take up residence in the unconscious, periodically rising up to cause mayhem in both our minds and bodies until we finally invite them back from exile and give them the hearing they deserve. It requires mustering the courage to shine a light on the darkest, most unsettling corners of our inner terrain. To stop flinching away from the difficult knowledge of how we really feel about our career, our parents, our choice of partner, ourselves. To move beyond the familiar stories and self-deceptions that have helped us get by but not truly thrive. It's about standing forthright in our truth, whatever that truth may be in this moment. Only from that place of radical honesty and acceptance can we live with authenticity, free ourselves from the coping mechanisms that have calcified into ailments, and experience wholeness, mind, body, and spirit. This lifelong journey of reintegrating our disparate selves and giving voice to the banished aspects of our psyches is the essence of cultivating lasting well-being. It's the hard work that awaits anyone courageous enough to stop living a partitioned, haunted existence and finally become complete. How else do our hidden emotions manifest in our daily lives? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up, and for more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. To learn more about other interesting topics, be sure to check out our other videos. Until next time, thanks for watching.